On a cold and windy day, a tiny kitten was discovered alone on the side of the road, barely clinging to life. Its fur was matted, its eyes barely open, and it looked like it had been abandoned for days. The poor creature was shivering from both fear and hunger, its tiny chest rising and falling in shallow breaths. The kitten's situation seemed dire, with no immediate hope of survival. Its fragile frame had no strength left to meow, and it barely had the energy to lift its head. The world seemed indifferent to its pain, leaving it on the brink of death. When a family happened to pass by, they couldn't ignore the heartbreaking sight. Without a second thought, they gently scooped up the kitten, wrapping it in a warm blanket. They rushed it home, hoping they could nurse it back to health. They immediately began offering food and water, though the kitten remained too weak to eat. Its future looked grim, and the family was unsure if it would survive the night. Still, they vowed to do whatever they could to give it a fighting chance. As the hours passed, the kitten's condition did not improve. Despite the warmth and food, it seemed to grow weaker. The family tried everything they knew to revive the kitten, but nothing seemed to work. Just when they began to lose hope, Max, their golden retriever, came to the room. Max had always been a calm, loving dog who was especially gentle around babies and small animals. When he saw the kitten, he approached slowly, sniffing at it with curiosity. Max had always been protective of his family, but this was different. He seemed to understand that the kitten was vulnerable, and without hesitation, he lay down beside it. Max's large, warm body provided a comforting presence, and the kitten instinctively curled up next to him, seeking warmth. There was no growling or playing, just pure, unconditional love. The family watched in awe as Max gently licked the kitten, his soothing motions creating a sense of calm that had been missing from the kitten's fragile world. Max's unspoken care made the family realize that this could be the spark the kitten needed to survive. Max continued to watch over the kitten with unmatched devotion. He didn't leave its side, even when the family had to step out of the room. The dog seemed to know that the kitten needed him more than ever. Whenever the kitten mewed weakly, Max would nudge it gently, offering his comfort. He didn't rush or push the kitten to do anything. It was as if Max understood that healing required time and patience. The family noticed the connection between them growing stronger every day, and the kitten, once so frail and distant, began responding to Max's kindness. Max's care went beyond just keeping the kitten warm. He showed an extraordinary amount of patience, allowing the kitten to rest against him without protest. There was no hint of jealousy or frustration from Max as the family gave the kitten more attention. Instead, Max acted as though it was his purpose to help the kitten regain its strength. The kitten seemed to draw energy from Max's unwavering affection, slowly beginning to open its eyes more and move its small paws. For the first time in days, the family saw hope that the kitten might survive, all thanks to the unlikeliest of heroes, a dog who cared like no other. As the days passed, the family began to see small, encouraging signs of life from the kitten. It started to move its tiny paws, though it was still too weak to stand. Max remained by its side, never straying too far. Each time the kitten would struggle to lift its head, Max would gently lick it, offering what seemed like reassurance. Slowly, the kitten began to mew louder, its voice growing stronger as it took small steps toward recovery. It started responding to the gentle strokes of Max's fur, and the bond between them grew even more profound. The family was overjoyed at the kitten's progress. They offered food once more, and this time, the kitten managed to lap up a few drops of milk. It wasn't much, but it was a start. With Max's warmth and constant companionship, the kitten was finally showing signs of improvement. The little creature was no longer the weak, dying kitten it had been when first found. It was beginning to thrive, and Max's love had played a vital role in its survival. The family marveled at how a dog's affection could bring life back to something so small and fragile. Max's devotion to the kitten never wavered. As the days turned into weeks, the bond between the dog and the kitten grew stronger. The kitten, now more alert and active, would playfully paw at Max's tail, causing the dog to wag his own in response. Max, in turn, became more protective of the kitten, always ensuring it was safe and comfortable. Even when the family members were busy, Max remained vigilant, keeping an eye on the kitten and making sure it was never left alone for too long. The kitten, once weak and frail, was now growing in strength, and Max's role in its transformation couldn't have been clearer. He didn't just provide warmth, he gave the kitten something much more valuable: love and companionship. It was as if the two had formed an unbreakable bond, a bond that would carry them through any challenge. The kitten followed Max everywhere, from the living room to the yard, mimicking the dog's every move. The once lonely and dying kitten had become part of the family, all thanks to a dog that would do anything to protect it. Before the family's eyes, the tiny kitten began to transform. What was once a weak, helpless creature was now a playful ball of energy, racing around the house with newfound vigor. Max watched over the kitten like a proud parent, making sure it didn't get into trouble. The once scrawny kitten now had a healthy coat of fur, and its eyes sparkled with curiosity and excitement. It was amazing to witness the transformation, and the family couldn't help but feel grateful to Max for giving the kitten the chance to heal. The kitten began to explore the house more, jumping up onto furniture and playing with toys. Max was always by its side, guiding it with gentle nudges and soft growls when it got too far ahead. There was an undeniable bond between the two, one built on trust and unconditional love. The family watched in amazement as the kitten became a completely different animal from the one they had first brought home. It was a living testament to the power of love and a reminder of how even the smallest of creatures could change the course of another's life. As the days went on, the kitten and Max shared countless adventures around the house. The kitten would chase Max's tail, tumble over the furniture, and explore every nook and cranny of the home. Max, always patient, allowed the kitten to engage in these playful antics, never showing signs of annoyance. The two became an inseparable duo, with the kitten following Max around everywhere, even when he was just resting. Max's protective nature continued to shine through, and the kitten looked up to him as a mentor and friend. Max also began to teach the kitten important lessons about how to interact with people, how to behave in the yard, and even how to get comfortable with being around other animals. The bond they shared was no longer just about survival. It had blossomed into a genuine friendship. The kitten was no longer a fragile, dying animal. Instead, it had become a vibrant, energetic kitten full of life and joy, all thanks to Max's unwavering care and love. Max's care didn't stop with the kitten's recovery. In fact, it only seemed to grow stronger as time passed. The dog's instinct to protect the kitten was as natural as breathing, and he maintained his role as the kitten's guardian and playmate. Even as the kitten grew more independent, Max remained attentive, always watching over it and making sure it was safe. The family marveled at how the dog seemed to know when the kitten needed help, whether it was offering a paw to help it onto the couch or stepping in to prevent it from getting into trouble. There were moments when the family would marvel at how patient Max was with the kitten, especially when it tried to climb onto furniture or chase after something it shouldn't. Max would gently nudge the kitten back on course, guiding it with a patient understanding that only a dog like him could possess. Every time the kitten would get startled, it would immediately seek Max out, curling up against him for comfort. Their bond was now something deeper than mere survival. It was an unspoken connection, one that neither needed to verbalize. Max wasn't just the kitten's savior. He was its family. As weeks passed, the kitten grew bolder and more independent. The once tiny creature who had needed constant care now started exploring the world around it with more confidence. While Max still remained by its side, the kitten began to venture into corners of the house it had never explored before, boldly sniffing and pawing at new things. Max would follow behind, ensuring that the kitten never got into too much mischief, but he also allowed the little one to discover things on its own. The kitten's curiosity was infectious, and it soon found its favorite places, like a cozy spot on the windowsill or a chair near the fireplace. However, despite its newfound independence, the kitten still returned to Max often, curling up beside him for naps or sitting next to him during family time. The family could see how the kitten had developed its own personality, a mix of playful energy and affectionate tenderness. It was no longer the sickly animal they had found, but a lively, confident young kitten. Max, too, seemed to understand that it was time for the kitten to begin standing on its own four paws, literally and figuratively. While he was still protective, he now knew that his little friend was ready for the world. As the kitten's confidence grew, so did Max's role as a teacher. While Max had always been patient, now he was intentionally guiding the kitten in the ways of the world. When the kitten tried to play too rough or ventured too far, Max would intervene gently, nudging it back or providing a soft bark to get its attention. Max even showed the kitten how to play with toys, how to chase balls, or tug on a rope. At first, the kitten fumbled and didn't quite understand the rules, but Max was always there, guiding it with a patient paw or a playful bark. It became clear that Max wasn't just looking out for the kitten's physical needs. He was teaching it the lessons of life. From what foods to eat to how to play with others, Max had become the kitten's first mentor. The family started noticing that the kitten, though growing in size and strength, still had a deep reliance on Max's wisdom. Whether it was navigating tricky stairs or figuring out how to socialize with the other pets in the household, the kitten looked to Max for guidance. Max had, without any effort or intention, assumed the role of the kitten's protector, teacher, and best friend. The bond between Max and the kitten had now become so profound that it was impossible to ignore. Everywhere the kitten went, Max followed closely behind. Whether they were out in the yard or lounging on the couch, the two were always within a few feet of each other. The family started referring to them as the dynamic duo because they were rarely seen apart. Max's devotion had gone beyond just protection. It was clear that he had developed a deep, familial love for the kitten. It wasn't just about companionship anymore. It was about a connection that transcended species. When the kitten was scared or anxious, it would look to Max for reassurance, curling up beside him as if seeking comfort from the dog's steady presence. And Max, in turn, would offer his protection in the gentlest way. The family watched in awe as the two communicated without words, their bond strengthened by each passing day. It was a reminder that love doesn't need to be bound by traditional boundaries, it just needs to exist. As the kitten grew into a young cat, it became a symbol of hope and resilience, a living proof of how love and care could bring life back to something that seemed beyond saving. The family couldn't help but reflect on how far the kitten had come since that fateful day it had been found abandoned and near death. It wasn't just the family's care that had made the difference. It was Max's selfless actions that had truly saved the kitten. The kitten's journey from the brink of death to becoming a healthy, vibrant member of the family was a testament to Max's extraordinary compassion. Whenever the family would share their story, they would emphasize how it was Max who made all the difference. Max's love and nurturing spirit had not only brought the kitten back to life physically, but had also shown the family the power of patience, care, and empathy. The kitten had been given a second chance, and now it had a loving family, with Max leading the way. For the family, this little miracle was a reminder that love is not limited to what we expect. It can come from the most unexpected places and in the most unexpected forms. The family's gratitude toward Max grew every day. They couldn't believe how much the dog had done for the kitten, how Max had not only cared for it physically but emotionally as well. They often found themselves reflecting on how life could have turned out differently for the kitten had it not been for Max's quick instincts and gentle nature. The bond between them had become a source of joy for the entire household. Max's role in the kitten's recovery was never underestimated. Whenever the family had guests over, they made sure to share the incredible story of Max's intervention. The kitten, who had once been near death, was now thriving, and the family knew they had Max to thank for that. The dog had done the unthinkable. He had saved a life and transformed the entire family's perspective on the power of love. They would forever cherish the connection between Max and the kitten, knowing that their story would inspire others for years to come. As the kitten matured, it developed a vibrant and playful personality that reflected its loving upbringing. It was curious, brave, and full of energy, traits that Max seemed to encourage and nurture with every interaction. The kitten began to engage more with other pets in the household, though it always came back to Max for reassurance. Their dynamic became more like that of two siblings, with the kitten looking up to Max as both a protector and a playmate. The kitten, now a young cat, also began to show signs of independence, exploring new areas of the house and seeking out new adventures. But it never strayed too far from Max, always checking in and seeking his presence when it felt uncertain. Their relationship had shifted slightly as the kitten had become more self-sufficient, but the bond they shared remained unbreakable. It was evident that the love Max had shown to the kitten had helped shape it into the confident and spirited cat it had become. Even as the kitten, now a young cat, grew more independent, Max's instinct to protect never wavered. It was clear that the bond between them had evolved, but the dog's protective nature remained strong. Max would still patrol the yard, keeping an eye on the kitten as it explored the garden, making sure it was safe from any potential danger. Whether it was an unexpected storm or a new pet in the house, Max was always there, offering reassurance with his steady presence. In moments of uncertainty, when the kitten felt unsure or startled, it would immediately run to Max for comfort. Max's presence was a constant source of security, and the kitten knew that no matter what, it could rely on the dog for protection. The family saw how Max's instincts to guard and nurture were a part of his very nature, and this deep-seated need to protect the kitten only grew stronger as time passed. The duo's relationship, though full of playful moments and growing independence, was still rooted in a deep trust that Max had helped cultivate from the very beginning. As the kitten continued to grow, its role within the family began to shift. It was no longer the fragile, sickly creature that had needed constant attention and care. Now, the kitten had become a vital part of the household, bringing joy and laughter to everyone who crossed its path. Whether it was curling up on the couch for family movie nights or pouncing on a stray toy during a quiet afternoon, the kitten's lively personality brought warmth and light into the home. But the kitten's presence wasn't just about providing entertainment. It had become a symbol of hope and resilience for the entire family. Each day, the kitten reminded them of the power of second chances and how love and compassion could bring even the most vulnerable creatures back from the brink. The family couldn't help but feel immense gratitude for the role the kitten played in their lives, serving as a daily reminder that healing, both emotional and physical, was possible with care and dedication. Max's relationship with the kitten didn't just affect their bond. It also had a profound impact on the other pets in the household. At first, the other pets were unsure of the kitten, but Max's consistent support of the little one helped ease their fears. Slowly, the other animals began to accept the kitten, with some of them even beginning to play together. Max, as the leader of the pack, set the tone for how the household would accept and embrace the kitten, and his example proved to be a powerful influence. The once tense atmosphere between the other pets and the kitten began to shift as they saw the strong bond between Max and the kitten. They began to realize that the kitten was no longer a threat or an outsider, but a valued member of the family. It was heartwarming to watch the once distant animals start to interact with the kitten, playing together and even curling up for naps side by side. Max's nurturing influence had rippled throughout the entire household, showing the power of compassion in fostering harmony and unity. As the kitten grew into a young cat, it began to understand the depth of Max's sacrifice and care. The kitten's once helpless gaze was now replaced by a confident and affectionate one, often seeking Max out for attention, play, or simply to be close. The kitten's love for Max was clear. It would follow him around the house, rubbing up against him and purring contentedly whenever they were near. There was a quiet understanding between them. Max had given the kitten a second chance at life, and the kitten was forever grateful. In small but meaningful ways, the kitten began to express its gratitude. It would gently nudge Max's face with its little paws, or curl up next to him on the couch without being prompted. Max, of course, welcomed these gestures, returning the affection with his steady presence and the occasional lick on the kitten's head. The family couldn't help but smile at these moments, realizing that Max and the kitten had developed a bond that was stronger than anything they could have imagined. It wasn't just a connection born of necessity, it was a love built on mutual respect and understanding. As time passed, Max began to show signs of aging. His once boundless energy was now tempered with moments of rest, and his protective instincts, though still strong, were accompanied by an understanding that he was no longer as spry as he once was. The family noticed that Max had slowed down, but there was still a twinkle in his eye whenever he was with the kitten, who was now a full-grown cat. It became clear that the roles had shifted. Max was no longer the one providing constant care, but the kitten had stepped into the role of providing comfort and companionship for the aging dog. The kitten would sit by Max, purring softly as if offering reassurance, and even nudging him in ways that seemed to say, "I've got you, too." The family marveled at how the once dependent kitten had become the supportive friend that Max had once been, proving that the bond between them was truly reciprocal. The love they shared was now a mutual one, full of tenderness and understanding. As the years went on, the friendship between Max and the kitten, now an adult cat, remained unwavering. Their bond had transformed from one of dependency to one of deep companionship. They still played together, but now their interactions were more about comfort and shared moments of peace. Whether lounging in the sun or taking naps in the same spot, Max and the kitten, now a cat, were inseparable. Their friendship had transcended the boundaries of species, and it was a reminder to the family that love could flourish in the most unexpected of places. The family often reflected on the remarkable journey the two animals had shared, how Max had gone from being the kitten's protector to a lifelong companion. It was a relationship forged in the crucible of adversity, but one that had blossomed into something beautiful and lasting. Their story was a testament to the power of compassion and the enduring nature of love, no matter the species. Max and the kitten had shown the world that, when it comes to love and friendship, there are no limits, only endless possibilities. The bond between Max and the kitten, now a cat, seemed unbreakable. However, as life often does, it threw an unexpected challenge their way. A new dog had arrived at the household, a younger, more energetic dog, full of excitement and curiosity. Initially, the family was hopeful that the new dog would fit into the dynamic seamlessly, but things quickly became tense. The younger dog's boisterous energy caused Max to become more protective, not only of himself, but also of the now older kitten, who was suddenly unsure of how to interact with this new canine presence. For the first time in years, Max found himself in a position of having to protect not just the kitten, but also the peace in the household. The younger dog's attempts to play were met with hesitation from the kitten, and Max's protective instincts flared. It was clear that Max was ready to defend his family once again, even against this new source of potential stress. The situation tested the strength of the bond between Max and the kitten, but it also showcased how far they had come together. The kitten had grown, and the love and protection Max had once given it were now being reciprocated in a different, yet equally important way. As the family observed the growing tension between Max and the younger dog, it was the kitten, now a full-grown cat, that surprisingly stepped up to ease the situation. The kitten, having witnessed Max's deep affection and commitment over the years, knew it had a responsibility. Slowly and cautiously, the kitten began to approach the younger dog, sensing its nervous energy. What followed was an unexpected moment of calm. The kitten, in a show of bravery, sat close to the new dog, gently touching its nose with its own. This quiet, peaceful gesture softened the younger dog's behavior, breaking the ice between the two animals. Max watched from a distance, his protective instincts still active, but he could sense that the kitten had taken a leadership role in calming the situation. The family was astounded at how quickly the dynamic had shifted, thanks to the kitten's willingness to engage. It was a beautiful reminder that the lessons Max had taught the kitten weren't just about protection, but also about understanding, compassion, and the power of gentle gestures. With time, Max and the kitten's relationship became even more intertwined. Not only had they formed a deep emotional connection, but they had also learned to heal each other. When Max had a bad day or was feeling slow due to his aging body, the kitten would curl up next to him, offering warmth and affection. In return, Max would give the kitten gentle licks on the head or simply lie beside it, offering his silent but powerful presence. It was a mutual healing process, one that was emotional as well as physical. The kitten, now a cat, had grown into a self-assured and strong animal. Still, it carried within it the quiet wisdom of all the times Max had nurtured and protected it. In turn, the kitten now helped Max cope with the challenges of growing older. It wasn't just a companionship of play, it was one that carried deep emotional healing, reminding them both of their unique bond. The healing power of their relationship was undeniable, and it became the foundation for the entire family's understanding of unconditional love and companionship. As Max entered his senior years, the inevitable reality of aging began to weigh on him. His once lively demeanor was now tempered with the quietness of time's passage. The family, although heartbroken, began to prepare for the eventuality that Max's time might be limited. However, even in his waning days, Max had one final lesson to impart. This time, it was to the kitten, now an adult cat. Max taught the kitten the importance of being present, of offering companionship without expectation. He showed the kitten how to continue caring for the family, how to offer comfort, and how to face life's challenges with a calm and understanding spirit. The family watched with awe as Max, in his final moments, passed on everything he had learned to the kitten, now fully grown. It wasn't just a lesson of survival or protection. It was a lesson in love, one that the kitten would carry with it for the rest of its life. The family was filled with gratitude, knowing that Max's legacy of compassion and loyalty would live on through the kitten's actions. When Max passed away, the family was devastated. They had lost not just a pet, but a friend, a protector, and a constant source of love. The household was filled with sorrow, but it was the kitten, now a full-grown cat, who helped the family through the grief. The cat, with its quiet wisdom and understanding, seemed to sense the pain in the family's hearts. It would nudge the family members with its head, curl up beside them, and offer its silent comfort. The kitten, now fully matured, had taken on the role of both the family's emotional support and the protector of the home. While Max's loss was immeasurable, the cat provided a steady presence that helped the family heal. It was clear that Max's spirit lived on through the kitten's actions, whether it was curling up by the front door as if waiting for Max to return, or simply offering companionship in a time of need. The bond they had shared was more than just a memory. It was a legacy, one that the family would carry with them forever. After Max's passing, the family found themselves uncertain of what the future held. The house, which once echoed with the sound of Max's bark and energetic paws, now seemed quieter. The kitten, having grown into a mature and self-assured cat, found itself in a new role, one of leadership. The absence of Max left a noticeable void, but the kitten, with its calm presence and newfound wisdom, began to step up in ways the family hadn't expected. The cat now took charge of maintaining the harmony in the household, guiding the other pets with the same gentle approach Max had once used. The family, though still grieving, began to find comfort in the kitten's behavior. It would sit by the family members in their times of sadness, offering warmth and companionship. In its quiet way, the kitten was helping to fill the gap Max had left behind. The new responsibilities were not overwhelming for the cat, who had learned from Max the importance of protecting, comforting, and unconditionally loving those around it. The kitten had become not only a companion but a beacon of hope and resilience, just as Max had been. In many ways, the family saw the kitten as a living tribute to Max's love and strength. With Max no longer by its side, the kitten was forced to step outside of its comfort zone. Though it had been the recipient of much care and attention from Max, the cat now had to forge its own path. It began to take on more of the family's needs, from keeping the other pets in check to offering companionship to everyone. Its once shy demeanor grew more confident, and the family witnessed how much it had transformed from the fragile kitten Max had first saved. The kitten, having spent so much time watching and learning from Max, now understood how to balance affection with discipline. It didn't just seek attention, it began to provide it in ways that were meaningful. Whether it was comforting a distressed family member or playfully teasing the other pets to keep the mood light, the kitten had grown into a confident and self-reliant cat. The family marveled at how quickly it had taken on the leadership role, filling the void left by Max, but in its own unique way. Over time, the family began to honor Max's memory in small but meaningful ways. They created a special spot in the yard where they would place Max's favorite toys and a small memorial stone with his name inscribed. The family often found themselves reflecting on the incredible bond Max had shared with the kitten and how that bond had continued to flourish after his passing. Max's lessons had been passed on, and the love he had given was now being reciprocated by the kitten, who was fast becoming an integral part of the family. As part of their tribute to Max's legacy, the family encouraged the kitten to continue being the loving, compassionate cat it had become. They would often recount the story of how Max had saved the kitten's life and how, in turn, the kitten had learned to become a source of comfort and protection. These stories not only kept Max's memory alive, but also served as a reminder of how love can transform even the most difficult situations into something beautiful. The kitten's journey from the fragile, sickly kitten to the confident cat who now carried Max's torch was a powerful testament to the enduring impact of Max's love and protection. As the years passed, the family began to imagine a future without the constant presence of their beloved pets, both of whom had left indelible marks on their hearts. The kitten, now a full-grown cat, had firmly established its place in the family, becoming a source of comfort and joy. Yet, the family couldn't help but wonder what would happen as time continued to march on. Would the kitten take on an even greater role as the matriarch of the household, much like Max had done before it? The future seemed uncertain, but one thing was clear: the kitten had learned from the best. Max had shown it the importance of love, protection, and loyalty, and the kitten had embraced these lessons fully. Whatever challenges lay ahead, the family knew that the cat would face them with the same courage and grace that Max had shown. The bond between the kitten and the family was stronger than ever, and the lessons from the past would undoubtedly continue to guide them in the years to come. The kitten's journey was far from over, but the love and legacy it carried would endure for a lifetime. In the months following Max's passing, the family began to notice something truly remarkable. It was as if Max's spirit still lingered in the home, offering comfort and warmth at times of need. This wasn't just a feeling of nostalgia. It was as though Max's love had somehow transcended his physical form. One evening, after a particularly tough day, the kitten curled up on the couch next to the family, and as it nuzzled into the cushions, the family felt a strange yet comforting sense of presence, as if Max was still watching over them. It was in these quiet moments that the family realized Max had left them a final gift: the knowledge that love, once given, never truly fades. Max's legacy wasn't just in the lessons he had taught them or the memories they cherished, but in the way his love continued to fill their hearts through the actions of the kitten. The family could now see that Max had not only saved the kitten's life, but had also given them a lasting reminder that love, once shared, is eternal and everlasting. As the months went by, the family began to notice a series of subtle yet profound changes in the kitten's behavior. It wasn't just the comforting presence it offered. There were small, almost imperceptible acts of kindness that showed just how deeply the kitten had learned from Max. The cat would leave little gifts, whether it was a dropped toy near a family member's feet or a soft meow as it gently nudged them awake in the morning. These seemingly small gestures spoke volumes about the kitten's desire to provide the same comfort Max had always given. It became clear that the kitten was not only filling the void left by Max, but was also taking on a role of emotional caretaker. It seemed to understand the rhythms of the family's emotions, offering support when someone was feeling down or sitting quietly beside them during moments of solitude. The kitten, much like Max before it, had developed an intuitive sense of what each person needed. It wasn't just about being physically present. It was about knowing when to offer space and when to offer warmth. The family was continually amazed at how much their pet had grown, both in maturity and emotional intelligence. The kitten, now an adult cat, had always been calm and friendly with the other pets in the household, but with Max gone, it had taken on a more authoritative role. The once playful dynamic between the animals had shifted, and the kitten now had a hand in guiding the household's other pets. Whether it was showing the younger animals how to behave or stepping in when disputes arose, the cat had become a calming presence, much like Max had been. It wasn't just a caretaker. It was a leader in its own right. The cat didn't dominate or control, but rather guided with gentle gestures, ensuring that everyone lived in harmony. The younger dogs, full of energy, learned to respect the cat's space, while the older animals found comfort in the cat's quiet presence. This leadership role was something the family hadn't anticipated but came to appreciate deeply. It was Max's influence, his love, and his protective nature that the cat had absorbed and now applied. Through this quiet yet firm leadership, the household once again found a balance, and peace prevailed, much as it had with Max. Years after Max's passing, the family often found themselves reflecting on the remarkable journey they had shared with both Max and the kitten. From the heartbreaking day when they found the tiny, sick kitten to the present, where the once helpless creature had grown into a strong, loving cat, the transformation was nothing short of miraculous. It was a testament to the power of love, patience, and the ability to heal one another. The family would often sit together, sharing stories of Max's heroic acts and how he had saved the kitten's life. These memories served as a reminder that love, in its purest form, can change the course of life. What had begun as a desperate, fragile moment had blossomed into a lasting bond that shaped not only the kitten's life, but the entire family's. Every laugh, every quiet evening spent together, and every shared moment of love was a living tribute to the enduring spirit of Max and the lessons he had passed on. As the years continued to pass, the family watched the kitten age into a wise and dignified cat. It had become a permanent fixture in the household, its presence a comfort to everyone. But there was one final gift the kitten would give to the family before its time came, an extraordinary act of love that would mark its lasting legacy. One evening, after a long day of family activities, the cat gathered the family together in the living room. It sat calmly in the center, looking from one family member to the next, as if inviting everyone to join in a final moment of unity. In that moment, the cat displayed the same quiet strength and grace it had learned from Max. It made sure to nudge each family member, offering a soft purr of reassurance. The family understood, without words, that this was the cat's way of thanking them for their love and care. It was an unspoken farewell, one that was both deeply moving and bittersweet. The cat had given them the final gift of peace, a reminder that love transcends time and that the bond they shared was forever etched into their hearts. The family knew that the kitten's legacy, like Max's, would live on long after it was gone. In its final days, the cat became quieter, more reflective. It spent much of its time nestled in its favorite spots around the house, offering soft meows of acknowledgement to each family member who passed by. The family, now fully aware of the cat's aging process, surrounded it with love and care, just as it had done for them over the years. They would sit by its side, gently stroking its fur, remembering the kitten it had once been, the fragile creature Max had saved and loved. In those final moments, the family gathered around the cat, holding it close, just as they had done with Max in his final days. It was a full-circle moment, and though they were filled with sadness, they found comfort in knowing the cat had lived a life full of love and purpose. It had not only repaid Max's kindness, but had also become an irreplaceable part of their lives. The cat, just like Max, had given the family more than they could ever express, and they would carry its memory with them forever. As the cat's final days approached, the family could sense the inevitable. It had become increasingly clear that the cat was preparing for its journey ahead. Despite its age and frailty, the cat continued to show strength, but there was a palpable sense of serenity in its demeanor. It spent its last days nestled by the family, no longer playful, but content in simply being together. It would quietly curl up beside its favorite family members, offering gentle purrs, as though reassuring them that it was ready to go. The family, though heartbroken, found comfort in the peacefulness the cat exuded in its final moments. It was almost as if the cat knew it had completed its mission, from the fragile, sick kitten saved by Max, to the strong, loving companion who had brought so much joy to their lives. The family gathered around the cat during its last hours, each quietly reflecting on the profound bond they shared, knowing this was not a goodbye, but a transition into a new form of presence. The cat's passing, while deeply sorrowful, felt serene, like a full, complete circle of love and devotion. After the cat's passing, the family decided to honor the bond between the dog and the kitten that had become the heart of their home. They held a small, private memorial to celebrate the lives of both Max and the kitten. Neighbors, friends, and even local pet owners who had known of Max's heroic act shared their condolences and stories. It was a community event that transcended grief, allowing people to come together and recognize the love animals bring to human lives. The memorial was held in the backyard, where Max and the kitten had spent so many happy hours together. They planted a tree in honor of their two beloved pets, one that would grow strong and stand as a testament to the love and lessons they left behind. The family spoke about the deep, irreplaceable bond between Max and the kitten, and how that bond had shaped not only their lives, but also their community. The tribute brought a sense of peace and closure, reminding everyone of the ways animals touch our hearts and inspire us to be better, more loving humans. Although the kitten had passed, its legacy continued to live on in the hearts of the family. The lessons Max had taught the kitten about love, care, and protection were now passed down to the next generation of pets and family members. The family found themselves more patient, more understanding, and more attentive to one another. They began to see the world through the same compassionate lens that Max and the kitten had always shared. The love that had been passed between them was now a permanent part of their lives. The kitten's legacy was not just in its actions, but in how it had transformed the entire family. The bonds they shared grew stronger, and every new pet they brought into the household was welcomed with the same love and compassion that had characterized the relationship between Max and the kitten. The family learned that love doesn't just come from grand gestures, but from the quiet moments of care, the subtle acts of kindness, and the deep connection that exists between humans and animals. In that sense, the kitten's legacy would never truly end. It would continue to grow, inspire, and shape the family for generations to come. The kitten had become a symbol of healing not just for the family, but for the broader community as well. People would often stop by the family's home to share stories of how their pets had helped them overcome struggles, drawing parallels between their own experiences and the kitten's journey. What had started as a near-death experience had blossomed into a powerful tale of transformation and resilience. The kitten's life, full of quiet heroism and unwavering love, served as a reminder that healing is not always immediate. It is a process that takes time, care, and a lot of love. For many, the story of the kitten's rescue and eventual rise to a position of leadership within the family mirrored their own journeys through hardship. The kitten's story became a beacon of hope for those facing challenges, encouraging them to keep going, to keep growing, and to trust that love could heal even the deepest wounds. Through its life and the lessons it shared, the kitten had become not just a pet, but a living symbol of perseverance, compassion, and the transformative power of love. In its final moments, the cat imparted one last lesson to the family. It wasn't a grand, sweeping gesture, but rather a quiet, powerful understanding of life's transient nature. The family gathered around the cat, and as they held it close, they realized that the greatest gift the cat had given them was the reminder that life is fragile, but love is eternal. The cat had taught them how to appreciate each moment and how to find beauty in the smallest, quietest things. This lesson resonated deeply with the family as they grieved. They understood that though their beloved cat was no longer with them in body, its spirit lived on in everything they did. The cat had taught them the importance of savoring every moment, of offering love without hesitation, and of cherishing the time they had with each other. The family knew that this lesson would stay with them forever, shaping how they lived their lives and how they interacted with each other and the world around them. The cat had left a lasting mark on their hearts, a mark that no time could ever erase. Even after the cat's passing, the family noticed a subtle, enduring influence on their lives. It was as if the cat had planted seeds of patience, empathy, and quiet strength in each member. The dog, now a bit older and more reserved, seemed to carry the calm energy the cat had once radiated. The family members, who had once rushed through life, now took more time to appreciate the small, meaningful moments. The lessons learned from their pets became a guide to navigating life's ups and downs, and each act of kindness or quiet comfort was a reflection of the cat's lasting presence. The family began to take longer walks together, just as they had when Max and the kitten were both alive. These walks were no longer just for exercise. They were an opportunity to slow down and savor the beauty of their surroundings. The peacefulness the cat had instilled in them became evident in their relationships with one another. Disagreements were handled with more understanding, and moments of joy were celebrated with more gratitude. The cat had taught them the power of quiet strength, and they carried this lesson with them every day, honoring its memory by living with more patience and peace. A few months after the cat's passing, the family decided it was time to adopt a new pet. They weren't looking for another cat or dog to replace the ones they had lost, but rather, they wanted to find an animal that could bring new joy and energy into their home. They visited the local shelter and came across a young, energetic puppy who seemed to have a special bond with one of the shelter's volunteers. The puppy had a playful spirit, but also a calming presence that reminded them of both Max and the kitten. As they brought the new puppy home, the family found themselves once again going through the process of introducing a new pet into the household. The puppy, much like the kitten when it was first adopted, needed patience, care, and understanding. But this time, the family approached the new addition with a sense of serenity, having learned from the lessons of Max and the kitten. The puppy's presence helped fill the void left by the other pets, and though it could never replace them, it became an important part of the family's healing journey. The circle of love continued, and with each new pet, the family was reminded of the power of compassion and care. Inspired by the journey of Max and the kitten, the family became more involved in the pet rescue community. They began volunteering at the local animal shelter, helping other animals in need. They realized that their pets had changed their lives in profound ways, and they wanted to give back to the community that had supported them through their own challenges. They not only fostered animals, but also helped organize fundraising events to raise awareness about the importance of adopting pets from shelters. Through their volunteer work, the family met other families who had experienced similar stories of rescue and love. They found solace in knowing that the impact their pets had on their lives was shared by many others. The family understood that the love they had received from Max, the kitten, and their other pets was something that needed to be passed on. They worked hard to ensure that other animals would have the opportunity to experience the same love and care that had transformed their lives. In doing so, they not only honored the memory of Max and the kitten, but also contributed to a growing movement of animal rescue and adoption. Over time, the story of Max's heroism and the kitten's transformation became something of a local legend. Neighbors and friends often shared the story, telling others about the dog that saved the tiny kitten's life and how that act of love had created an unbreakable bond. The family was humbled by the attention their pet story received, but more importantly, they saw how the tale of compassion and rescue had inspired others. People began visiting the family's home, asking to hear more about Max and the kitten. Local schools even invited them to speak about the importance of kindness, empathy, and animal rescue. The family's story became a beacon of hope, illustrating that even the smallest acts of love could change lives. The family was proud to share their story with others, not for recognition, but to encourage people to see the power of compassion in action. They realized that the legacy of their pets had reached far beyond their home and had touched the hearts of many in their community. As the years passed, the family continued to honor the memory of Max and the kitten in special ways. They created a small shrine in their garden where they had planted the tree in their memory. On special occasions, such as birthdays or anniversaries, they would gather around the tree, lighting candles and sharing stories about the pets who had changed their lives. This tradition helped keep their memory alive and allowed the family to celebrate the impact of their love every year. The family also started an annual charity event in honor of Max and the kitten, where they invited the community to join them in raising funds for animal shelters and rescue organizations. The event included activities like pet adoption drives, fundraisers, and educational talks about responsible pet ownership. It became a day of celebration and remembrance, bringing together people who were passionate about animals and encouraging them to help make a difference in the lives of pets in need. Max and the kitten's legacy lived on not just in their hearts, but in the tangible ways they contributed to the well-being of other animals. As the family grew, so did their appreciation for Max's role as the protector of the household. Max, the dog who had once saved a fragile kitten, continued to watch over the family with a sense of duty and care that never wavered. He became especially close to the family's young children, always staying near them, whether they were playing outside or simply lounging in the living room. Max's protective instincts kicked in whenever the family faced any kind of challenge, making sure they felt safe and loved at all times. The family, too, grew to rely on Max's calming presence. Whenever things felt overwhelming or stressful, his mere presence seemed to ease their worries. Max had become more than just a pet. He was a symbol of security, loyalty, and the unconditional love animals offer. His watchful eyes and gentle demeanor brought peace to everyone around him. The lessons Max taught about loyalty, bravery, and tenderness echoed in the way the family interacted with each other, always caring and protecting one another, just as Max had done for the kitten and the family. As Max entered his golden years, the family found themselves reminiscing about the countless moments they had shared with him. His once energetic and playful demeanor had softened, but his love for the family never wavered. Though his legs grew slower and his eyes dimmed, Max remained an ever-present figure in their lives. He still followed the children around, albeit at a more leisurely pace, and would lie by the door, waiting for the family to return home. His loyalty remained unwavering, and his bond with the family only grew stronger as he aged. During this time, the family also became more attuned to the needs of their older pet. They ensured Max was comfortable, providing him with special cushions and blankets to rest on. They adjusted their routines to make sure he had the best quality of life during his senior years, just as he had once adjusted his behavior to care for the kitten. Max's aging process reminded the family of the passage of time and the importance of cherishing every moment with those we love. The family's appreciation for Max deepened, and they made sure to show him all the love he had given them over the years. When Max's health began to decline, and it was clear that his time with the family was coming to an end, the family was heartbroken, but they knew it was time to say goodbye to their beloved dog. Max had given them so much joy, love, and protection, and they knew it was only fair to let him rest peacefully. In his final days, the family surrounded him with the same love and tenderness he had always shown them. They sat with him, stroking his fur, sharing memories, and expressing their gratitude for the years of companionship. When the time came to let Max go, the family did so with heavy hearts but with a deep sense of peace, knowing they had given him the best life possible. They had no regrets, as they had loved him fully, just as he had loved them. Max's departure left a hole in their hearts, but they also felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude for the time they had spent with him. They knew that, just like the kitten, Max's legacy would live on in the lessons he had taught them about love, loyalty, and selflessness. In the months following Max's passing, the family decided to honor both him and the kitten with a tribute that would live on for years. They had the idea to create a small memorial garden in their backyard, a peaceful space where they could go to remember their pets and reflect on the impact they had on their lives. They planted flowers and trees that would bloom each year, symbolizing the enduring nature of the love Max and the kitten had shared with the family. The garden became a place of quiet reflection, where the family could sit together, honor the memories of their pets, and feel their spirits still present. The family also created a photo album filled with pictures of Max, the kitten, and their adventures together. The album became a cherished keepsake, a tangible reminder of the joy and love they had shared. Every year, on the anniversary of Max's passing, the family would gather in the garden, look through the album, and reflect on the lessons they had learned from their pets. It was a way to celebrate their legacy, to keep their memory alive, and to pass on the values of love, compassion, and care to future generations. Years passed, and though time moved forward, the love that Max and the kitten had given to the family never faded. Their legacy continued to shape the family's values and interactions with one another. The family's bond grew stronger, and their commitment to kindness and empathy toward animals and people alike became central to their way of life. The lessons of the kitten's bravery and Max's unconditional love lived on, not just in stories, but in the daily actions of the family. When the family eventually adopted another pet, they did so with the understanding that the love they had shared with Max and the kitten was something they could offer again. They welcomed the new pet into their home with open arms, knowing that no animal could ever truly replace those who had come before, but that their love and care could continue to honor the lessons of the past. The family's journey was forever intertwined with the spirits of Max and the kitten, and as long as they lived, their legacy of love would continue to guide them, shaping their lives and the lives of those they encountered. The story of the tiny kitten and the brave dog would live on in the hearts of everyone who heard it, a timeless reminder of the power of love and the beauty of second chances.